very briefly, because this is not new.
Okay.
The People's Actions to Win Life All Round has called on President John Mahama and the Council of State to consider the IDEG boss, Dr. Emmanuel Akwete, because he's capable of replacing soon-to-retire Dr. Kwadwo Afarijan. The reason I said I don't want us to spend a lot of time here is that this new EC boss issue has come up several times. We've talked about it. But this time around, we have a group that is calling directly on the President and the Council of State to consider a particular person. I don't know how it comes across to you, Doc.
Well, for me, there are so many of the NGOs, so it's just one. If all the NGOs in Ghana had come up, had made this call, then I would say yes. It's just one NGO. So let's wait and see. The President has that mandate through the Council of Elders to make that choice. So for me, coming from just one NGO, for me, I don't think is the ultimate.
But how about the personality involved?
Well, I personally, I've read about him, but I've not met him or interacted with him.
You haven't encountered him?
Yes, I've not encountered him. But I think there are other people. There are other more qualified people around, and President will have that choice to make by looking at each one very carefully before selecting the person. I just pray that the one they select is able to do the work very well and improve on what Dr. Afarijan has already done. Dr. Afarijan has, for many, many years, contributed to the democratic sustenance of this country. But people are watching him, especially the opposition, are looking at him like trying to drag his name into the mud. And that is what I always, when I'm confronted, I want to make it clear that he has an impeccable record in terms of democracy and his growth in Africa. And people must look at Dr. Afarijan as such and give him that respect before he retires. And even if he retires, he will be consulted all the time by the UN, by the AU and ECOWAS anytime there are problems on the African continent, because he has built the buffer needed to sustain Africa. What has happened in Nigeria, what happened in Nigeria recently, is by the advice. You know, he's always been consulted. He's been flying to Nigeria. People don't see. He has been flying to Nigeria over the years to be able to help that country to build the institution that they've just come to realize. So people must give him that respect and should stop. So to end what I'm trying to say, what I'm saying is that they must leave the President to make a choice. For me, someone like Afarijan, again, who is very independent, who is strong-minded, and can do the job.
Okay. All right. Honorable.
Yeah, it's all about getting the best person to do the job.
Dr. Akwete?
And if Dr. Akwete is the best person, so be it.
What do you think?
Let me come from here. Because of the antecedent of our election from 1992 to date, if you read the Constitutional Review Committee report on the appointment of the chairman and his or her deputies, the Electoral Commission, you realize that they are even asking for even parliamentary approval. If that amendment should go through, they are even asking that there should be parliamentary approval because they want a greater scrutiny. And their funding is indicating that most appointments, the executive president really, by the key features of the executive presidency, makes an appointment, a lot of them, which is the power to do that is really recognized. But they are looking at a greater scrutiny because in Ghana, their analysis have shown that such appointments are made, but they become an extension of the appointing agent, and that their independence and even their autonomy in terms of their thought and act becomes a challenge. And therefore, they are asking for more greater scrutiny into that. If you read Article 71 talks about certain appointment that the president does in consultation with the Council of State. Then 72 talks about appointment, especially the Electoral Commission one, upon the advice of the Council of State. And the review want to add another clause to it that after that, that person must come to Parliament
to be
vetted and then parliamentary approval. They want that amendment to be made based on their school, because they are even saying that the 25 member of the Council of State, the 14 that has institutional, that come from institution, the 10 from each one, 10 from our regions, the one from the former Chief Justice, another one from the former Chief of Defense Staff and the IGP and the President of the National House of Chiefs. The 14, 11 is done by the President, adding to 25. The review committee is saying that we should drop the 11 to 5 so that 6 will come from institutions. That is when the review goes through. You see, so that one tells you that there's antecedent with this, and that we should take.
It's just a review that has not been passed.
What I'm saying is that these are reviews. These are reviews. Listen to me carefully.
I get it. But
a president set a committee to review our constitution. The committee has presented its report. I'm only citing them as the committee's funding, and that one should tell you.
No, but that's fair. I just wanted to say that. I mean, what is it? Dr. Farijan has been fantastic. We've all praised him over the years, except that you political parties, you have to take the blame. At one point, Farijan is the king. At another point, you know,
he's the demon.
Exactly.
Why?
Now we're bringing all these different steps that the president has to go through in appointing a new EC boss. Why?
You see, I hope you've been in this country, and that from '92, we've continuously improved gradually on our electoral system. The system is dynamic, and for that matter, you know, an election is a huge challenge as far as we are concerned. I think you were also here when we had the Supreme Court case. You listened. I'm not saying the Electoral Commission is a perfect system. Definitely there are shortcomings, and they've also done well in certain areas, but there are also shortcomings, and this is why we are saying that based on some of these things, they want to at least assume perfect system.
So it's not because you lost that Supreme Court case.
No,
that's why.
You know what I want.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Quickly, and then you come in.
I am saying that I started with a premise that all we need is the best person for the job, and how to get the best person. If it will take you go think outside the box to get the best person, so be it. I refer to those reviews for you to know that that committee, the review committee, has gone through research, done background check, and they've seen some of these challenges. And for that matter, they want greater scrutiny in the appointment. For now, we can't do that one. That third clause cannot come for now. But at least it should exercise our minds so that we can go a bit further and get the best person for this job. That is all that I'm saying.
I get it.
We have problem in this country when we come to stakeholders management. How to involve our stakeholders is a huge challenge in this country.
I get it. I get it, Honorable.
Let me tell you. The Constitution of Ghana is very lenient on political parties. How can a political party only want to use one region to rule the country? That will not happen. Tell me,
when did it happen?
How many?
When did it happen?
When you look, hold on, let me land.
When did it happen?
When you look at the results of this country, it is only Ashanti region that NPP can say emphatically that they control in terms of votes. You don't have a seat in the Upper East region, Upper West region.
What's the
and you don't have a seat in Western region. What I'm saying is that a party even shouldn't be allowed to govern a country if you don't have seats in all the 10 regions of Ghana. And MPP doesn't have seats in 2 of our regions in Ghana as we speak. And we are not making a case out of that we need a constitutional review. But they're always talking about EC and Afarijan just because they didn't win the 2012 election. And they were deceived by their former chairman to go to court. What is his name?
Do you know that for a fact?
Oh yes, because they had no case in the first place.
Okay, let's move on.
So if we are going to go for constitutional reviews, and he's talking about constitutional reviews, that means they cannot rule this country until they win a seat in the Upper West and voter region. If not, they cannot rule this country.
That MPP had more than 5 million votes in this country.
I get it.
When you only have one region,
more than
you can only boast.
I get it. We have one more issue to go. We have to talk ADB.
No.
We have more than
Honorable
votes in this country.
No.
Honorable, let's move on.
You don't have it. Do you have a seat in the Upper West region? Do you have a seat? Do you have a seat in the Upper West? Do you have a seat in the voter region?
Can we quickly move on? Can we quickly?
No, you don't. But we can review a constitution in which if you don't have a representation,
in this country.
What is the use of parliament?
Okay,
then?
we have 5
What
minutes.
is the use of
We have
parliament then?
We have 5 minutes. We have to talk. We have to talk the ADB matter before we wrap up. But if you
I'm a political scientist. I'm saying that
if you go on like
this,
if you go on like this, we have to wrap up now. So let's talk ADB because they've also been in the news. That's also another matter that is dear to our hearts. And policy think tank Imani Ghana is supporting a decision by management of the Agricultural Development Bank to sell about 70% of the bank's shares. Imani Ghana, in a statement, argued that the ADB should go public with relish, as this will put the bank in a competitive position and increase its operations efficiency. It would also prevent imminent unsustainability and free government books. A lot of things have come up with ADB, with this going public, with this share offer. We know that some of the people who work within ADB are also not happy. I'll start with Honorable because you've been really heated on this ADB matter.
Well, I think we, like I said earlier, we all want the best for this country. Any institution or company or individual who does so well for this country, we must protect and make sure that this country moves forward. As at now, our position on this matter, based on how they go about it, the MPP, we are saying that to a certain extent it must come to Parliament for some approval. If it is not done, the MPP will look for the interpretation at the Supreme Court or as far as this matter is concerned.
It's interesting that you're calling for it to come to Parliament because majority rules in Parliament. Sometimes people don't get you.
No, it is not just a matter that majority rules in Parliament. It's a matter of procedure. So long as it goes through the procedure and the majority has its way, so be it. It's gone through the procedure.
So for you, you stood by and for the minority, is the procedure.
Yes, that is what matters, because we set in precedent in this country, okay? And people refer to what we do today in the future, and for that matter, we must do it well. So based on that procedure, if it passes through Parliament and it is passed, that we all stand by it. So be it. So I am saying that they should look at it carefully. They should do it according to law. They should follow law. If they think that ADB must go and we follow the law, why not? But if ADB should go and somebody want to circumvent the rules, I don't think that would be the best for this country.
Okay, let me also say that today we've been told that the minority says that ADB has contacted them to hold on to their court suit over the sale of their property. The ADB says it is willing to consult the AG again over their decision. So it looks like somebody's listening to the minority after all. Doc.
But I'm saying that is there a provision in the Constitution that ADB's public sales should go to Parliament?
Maybe I would advise Doc to go and look at it.
No, hold on. I'm just asking that. I don't know whether that, according to what I've read too, some people are saying that Parliament should stay out of it. But if ADB is saying they should hold on, it means they are also trying to look at it and maybe solve the problem amicably. But what I'm worried is that ADB over the years has done so well. But the latest I'm hearing from them declaring they don't want their board and MD is sad, because over the years they've done well. The MD has transformed the bank from where it was a couple of years ago to the new edifice they have as the Accra Financial Center. And I just hope that they put their heads together and are able to resolve these issues calmly.
Okay, all right. And on that note, I want to say thank you to you, Dr. Joseph Kwabena, Mambua Roxing, and the Honorable Moses Enim. I wish you well. We thank you for your time this morning. And really, that will be it for our show today. Thanks for being a part of it. The AM show, we're back, God willing, tomorrow. My name is Mama Vioso Abwaji. Thanks for watching.